Hey guys, switching up the setting a little bit today. Thought I'd do more of a hands-free approach, but the topic of discussion today or tonight is these, and you can call them alien, you can call them archontic, you can call them reptilian. Generally the same thing, or the various hierarchies in which these things exist, but the topic is the relationships and how these situations can be manipulated, right, scripted into your life. Now, these things can really be set upon reincarnation, right, where these beings will kind of code these specific people that you may have had past life interactions with you, that you may have with them, into your life now, right? So they take this person that kind of already had an impact on your life in some way, and you're already kind of stuck in the matrix because you're being reincarnated, right? You're giving into the illusion, you're giving into their plan, and they weave these people kind of into your heartstrings, right? Now, disclaimer, I fully believe that Source kind of still can intervene in this realm if you ask for its assistance, right? And I can speak from direct experience really with this. I have experience with this sort of manipulation as well. In my opinion, from my understanding, from what I've kind of gained wisdom from as well, whether through experience and through knowledge, and other people's experiences. So Source can definitely intervene, right? But the code that already exists for your life is intertwined with these people's, and it's generally a manipulative tactic in which you are then being handled by these archons, right? By these extra dimensional beings feeding off your energy. Again, you wonder for what purpose. It creates this chaos and this friction in your life, this confusion, which leads you to become more vulnerable. It leads you to decrease your self-worth. It leads you to be less authentic. It leads you to get take yourself out of the equation, and kind of give in to the plan that was put in place for the purpose of receiving this love. But this love is not really love, it's simply a manipulative tactic that was used in your life to kind of entice you into the situation. So it can start out really as this intense attraction, right? Maybe, like I said, I mentioned that feeling of soul connection where you feel like you guys are connected in some way. There's some deeper resonance than a typical relationship, right? And you guys bond. What is the bond really kind of oriented towards, right? What is it based on? What's the foundation? Is it fully healed and integrated and harmonious, or is it based in some sort of trauma, some sort of lust, desire, some sort of will to fill a gap in yourself, right? Is it kind of codependent, right? So more than likely it can be very, codependent, where they bring this person into your life and all of a sudden you get this attention. They sort of pursue you. It feels like they're all over you, right? It feels like it's a deep love, like you feel connected in the sense that you guys align with similar things, maybe even on the spiritual path, if you're on that path, or whatever path you're currently on. That aligns, and you can tell a lot about that connection based on how good your path is, in a sense. How based is it around something meaningful or not, right? If your paths align, but simply because you're both lawyers or something of that nature, more than likely it's not actually the most meaningful thing, and could very well be a manipulation. Now, these manipulations can really start, especially for psychic people, for those that are gifted, they can be the most easily manipulated because these people receive all sorts of messages. Imagine, not having a voicemail right? Having nowhere to leave messages. There's no kind of deceitful messages or scam calls you can receive, right? Or scam messages, you can still receive the calls, I guess. I guess a better analogy would be not having a phone, right? But if someone has a phone, if someone has a place they can reach them, for example, if someone is gifted and they are able to be connected to, right? These beings then step into these naive people, these people that haven't experienced or aren't really aware of themselves, lack this discernment, and they start feeding them messages. They start feeding them images and dreams of people they could potentially meet. But you have to sort of discern, hey, why am I getting this message, right? That's why you can't always trust psychic readings or readings you may see on the internet where, prophets or psychics will predict, in 2 months there's going to be some sort of apocalyptic event and the earth is going to explode and erupt in all sorts of forms and this and that. Well, the thing is, these beings, they have no creative energy of their own, right, that are doing this manipulation. So they, just like through movies, they will seek to manipulate and control the people with that creative energy. And how do you do that? You program them. You feed them images of what you want to see realized, right? And the more we focus on them, and especially when we think, oh, it's from some higher power, right? We confuse source with these beings that we think are godlike or ascended masters or whatever nature, and then we begin manifesting these things because we are like source in a sense. We have that creative potential inside us, especially for people that are retaining their sexual energy and magnetizing themselves to really amplify this energy inside them, right? So then these people get fed these dreams or intuitive messages or kind of nudges towards certain people, and these people naturally come together. In a sense, you can describe it really as a karmic connection, and these karmic connections can feel like as what one may typically describe as twin flame, although the twin flame isn't necessarily something beneficial in my opinion from what I've learned anymore, because of a soul split in two isn't probably necessarily best for it to be in the same or in different bodies interacting with each other, because it was that bad and it split in two, but that's a different story altogether. Yet this karmic connection then all of a sudden starts out really passionately, right? And I'm not saying there's no love involved there, but it becomes a sort of unrequited love where one person is more attached to the other, and this can go back and forth. Also kind of like the runner dynamic of twin flames, which I also believe can be highly manipulative, simply causing friction and chaos in your life, which is why I think we just need to return kind of to our own sense of balance and relieve ourselves of any sort of pursuit or attachments. But this manipulation then is kind of easily directed by these beings, right? Until one of the parties becomes so dedicated in their awareness, in their desire for truth, that they begin questioning the situation. They begin questioning, for example, ETs or these archons or these beings, and their intentions behind it, right? And they just have this deep inner knowing that, hey, something is off. This doesn't feel like true love. True love isn't this way. This relationship isn't this way. And then all these feelings arise where the beings will feel this, and they start pushing your buttons more and more. They start trying to make you feel more guilty, make you feel more shame, make you feel less worthy even of the connection, like you did something wrong, right? And it's a never-ending loop where you may be trying to focus on your own growth, whether it's spiritual or in the own physical world. Your partner kind of not only is stagnant, but is even resisting you, is kind of trying to drag you back. These are the first really big signs of manipulation, because you as a being are trying to grow. You're trying to expand your awareness, yet your partner refuses to participate in these sort of activities, right? And all it does is create more confusion, more stagnation for you, or even more of a pulling back in a sense. So these beings will easily manipulate you if they still have that connection, those implants to you. But if they don't, if you've kind of broken free of that and you've kind of done the work, you've looked really at yourself, at your traumas, you've even removed these etheric implants that were kind of automatically injected into you upon reincarnation, because you accepted this plane of existence, accepted this plan coming in, this script. Because I do believe, in a sense, like our souls were caught, or in some way, or even if we entered willingly, we accepted to be caught, in a sense, right? Kind of like Prison Break, we accepted to go into the prison to kind of break out of the prison and tear it all apart, potentially. But they will manipulate you then through the other person, unless, like I said, you are fully dedicated to yourself, to your expansion. You ask for source help, you ask for source intervention. You release attachment, let go of attachment of the relationship, and you accept that loving yourself is more important than trying to necessarily save that person. Not in a sense more important, but loving yourself is kind of more of a priority than it's better for both parties rather than staying in that manipulative relationship, right? Because you understand that that person still needs to go through healing, through their own, or through enough suffering and trauma to finally transmute that and finally become aware of what they're going through, so that they can break free from it. Because if they think everything's all right and all they see is positive reinforcement of their ego, of their ways that they've been undergoing so far, then they won't ever really make a change, right? There will be no room for growth, because you'll always be there to kind of facilitate their needs and facilitate the energy that they're then extracting from you, right? And once they get you, right, once they pair you up together, you begin exchanging energy more and more, and through them, if you weren't implanted or whatever, they get you, right? Especially through having sex with them, definitely through having sex with them, with the energy exchange happening there. So this manipulation, right, it's so easily scripted into our lives that we have to be highly perceptive. Again, it takes returning yourself back to a higher place of love, of being, of discernment, right? There needs to be wisdom with love, otherwise we are easily deceived, because a loving person will be taking advantage of their kind heart. And I'm not saying that having a kind heart is a bad thing. That's completely the opposite of what I'm saying. I'm saying that you can be a very loving and kind person, yet if you do not know how to love yourself, if you do not have wisdom in your approach, then you will be like the person that has nothing or has very little and tries to give it all away when inside they're hungry, when inside they're dying. It's like the person that welcomes all the homeless people in their house, but then it's not a good place to live for anybody, right? So really, it wasn't a very loving thing to do, because you didn't put forth any effort or any wisdom behind it, behind your actions. So first, I guess, thing to become really aware of is that these energies, these beings, they exist, and they will manipulate you, whether it's through your dreams, through your outside experiences, through relationships, through your own family members, right? These things can happen, and when you get stuck in such a relationship and you become fearful of breaking out of it for the excuse that, oh, well, I just need to put in more effort into the relationship, or you keep kind of blaming yourself. That's you're being deceived, right? You're not putting your own needs first. You may have grown up in a dysfunctional family, right? That took a toll on you. You learn to really listen to others rather than yourself, and it comes back to listening to your own guidance, your own source light within, right? So something to be aware of how these relationships can enter your life, because like I said, fate is a script, right? There is the fate of source, the organic power behind this simulation. But when someone is kind of governing the simulation through their own manipulative desires, right, that can influence you, and you can believe that it's fate because someone is puppeteering you, right? And it's not aligned with your highest good, it's aligned with their highest, or rather their temporary good, right? So that in a sense is not the fate that you would wish to align yourself with. There is that's a window of opportunity where free will can make a change, right? Even if it's just an illusion of free will. But the script really needs to be exposed, and that's why I say, look at your numerology, look at your astrology, make connections in gematria with your names and other people's names. See if things were aligned for a specific purpose, and then feel out how that situation has been affecting you, right? Has it been creating chaos in your life? Do you feel confused? Do you feel like you don't understand the actual purpose of this, and you're not actually growing from this? It's just sort of pulling you back. More than likely, it was an orchestrated, archontic experience. Okay, so sometimes to break free of that karma, we simply have to sidestep it rather than re-experience it and create more karma, more ties, more attachment to this illusion, to this delusion of a world. That's why we need to learn this strong discernment. And sometimes it's only done through experience, right? We need to feel it on our own skin. But if you guys enjoyed the video, please leave a like, comment if you've had similar experiences, and I'll see you guys again soon.